Hello and welcome everyone. This is Sukhwinder Kaur from Tanda. Today I am going to review chapter 14 from grammar book, that is questions. Let's start how we formulate questions with verb to be, that is, am, are, was and were. So let's take the first example. He is ready. Here what we have to do is we have to put the auxiliary verb is in the beginning of the sentence, or we can say before the subject. So it becomes is he ready, and then at the end of the sentence there will be a question mark. So similarly, B part, these are cars. Are these cars? C, he was here. Again we have to put the auxiliary verb was before the subject he. So then it becomes was he here, and then sign of interrogation. D part, they were good books. Were they good books? Second part. Now let's talk about how we formulate questions with WH words, or we can say WH questions. WH questions begin with the question word who, what, where, why, when, whose, and which, as well as how. So here we put auxiliary or modal verb before the subject. For example, whose cat is this? It is Aruna's. Similarly, B example, where did you stay? So now there is one point to remember, that is prepositions is usually placed at the end of the questions. For example, who does this car belong to? Belong to here is the prepositions, so it is put at the end of the sentence. Now third point, how we formulate questions in verb tenses, where you can see the auxiliary verbs. For example, present continuous tense. And in present continuous tense, the auxiliary verbs are is, am, and are. First example, she is looking for a pen. Here auxiliary verb is. So we put is in front of the subject. Is she looking for a pen, and then sign of interrogation. Similarly, for present perfect tense, he has just left. Here has we put in front of the subject. Has he just left, and then sign of interrogation. For past continuous tense, the auxiliary verbs are was and were. So one example is from them. They were leaving when they arrived. So here the auxiliary verb were should be placed before the subject. Were they leaving when they arrived? Now last part, simple future tense. Here in simple future tense, the auxiliary verbs are shall and will. For example, you will teach me tomorrow. So will should be placed before you. Will you teach me tomorrow? And then question mark. Fourth part, tenses where you cannot see the auxiliary verb. For example, in simple present tense and past simple tense. Let's take first simple present tense. Here the auxiliary verbs are do and does. So do is used with the subject I, we, you, they and plural. Does is used with she, he, it, and any name or any singular. For example, does John lives in London? So because it is the third person, so we use does. Does John live in London? And then sign of interrogation. B part, simple past tense, and the auxiliary verb here is did. They went to the museum. Did they go to the museum? One thing you must remember that in simple past tense and in simple statement we use always second form of verb, while in interrogative and negative sentences we use first form of verb. Now fifth part is more about questions. We also use questions to make suggestions, requests, offers or invitation. Let's take examples one by one. Asking for information. Where did you meet her? Asking for permission. Can I borrow your pen? Making suggestions. Shall we go out? Making requests. Could you help me please? Making offers. Would you like some cake? And making invitation. Would you like to come my birthday party? So students, I think you enjoyed this video. The next part we will do next time. Thank you for watching this video.